and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca, part of the Wistl Family Adventures channel. And today I'm going to be speaking about the 5 things that we do buy as minimalists. If you tuned into the video that I posted, I was going to say it posted last week, but it didn't post last week because it took so long to upload. So it was posted this Tuesday. So if you saw the video that was posted this Tuesday, you would have seen the 70 things that we don't buy or don't own as minimalists. So I thought I'd kind of counteract that with a few things that we actually do indulge in and do purchase a lot of and frequently. If you want to support this channel and you like what you see here, then don't forget to subscribe and like this video, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. So to start off, number 1 is books. Now, I've been reading books for only a very short period. I used to read books all the time. If you've watched some of my previous videos, I have talked about reading books before. I think it was in my 4 minimalist hobbies that I have and cherish and absolutely love. I went into quite a bit of detail about books in that video, but I will kind of briefly swoop through this one. But books, I find, are something that I really lost touch with throughout the years of being in a difficult and painful place with money. So it's one of those things and one of those indulgences I didn't allow myself, and I didn't really think about it. And I've always wanted to get back into reading because I love worlds, I love world building, I love fantasy, sci-fi, dystopias, I love all that kind of thing. I tend to watch a lot of films based on those genres, and I wanted to read again, but I just didn't find the time, nor did I have kind of the spare income to be able to put into books. So I have recently started to just slowly get into reading again. I'm actually reading this bad boy right here, which is Shithik. This is Needful Things by Stephen King, and I, as you can see by my really tatty bookmark, which I think is a shopping list maybe, I am literally almost halfway through, and it is really, really good. It's my first Stephen King book. I know he has books that are longer than this. This is around 700 pages. But it is a really interesting story about people and dynamics between different people and people that live in a community, like in a town. But yeah, really, really good. The kind of bad guy in this is really interesting, and I can't wait to kind of see where it goes. I also have a few other books as well that I have on my shelf that I have read, and that is The Bees by Lorleen Paul, which is a dystopia, utopia, a totalitarianism book about how bees live and the kind of hierarchy. It goes through different classes and statuses as well, and it's just a really good read. It's a lot shorter and took me quite a bit less time to read than the one I'm currently reading. And then the first book I actually ended up finishing this year was Wild Girls. This was okay. It was I suppose another kind of apocalyptic dystopian world where girls were growing things out of them due to something called the tox. Make sure it's called the tox, otherwise I'm going to look a bit silly. And it was about a group of girls at a school that had to kind of defend themselves from the outside world and this kind of ever creeping almost pandemic-y virus problem. So this was also really, really good, but it wasn't my favourite. And I also have 3 other books that I've not yet read. The first one is Alias Grace, or Alias Grace, I don't know how to pronounce the first one, by Margaret Atwood. Obviously I'm a massive Handmaid's Tale fan. I've not read the book, but I watched the series. So I thought if I started with something a little less creepy, then maybe, you know, I could get into more of her books. I also have Wistl by Hugh Howey, and this is, I think, another dystopia, utopia, apocalyptic set of small stories, short stories, so that's going to be really interesting. And then I also have like a TikTok favourite, which I don't have TikTok, nor am I that interested, but apparently it is. And it is Sky. A lot of people do talk about this on BookTube. So those are just a few of the books. As you can see, I don't have like a massive collection of stories and books that I buy. I watch a lot of BookTube. I go on Goodreads. I get kind of great recommendations from there. But I still hold back in terms of buying lots of hauls of things, like a huge amount of things to get through, because I feel like if I bought like a massive amount of books, like a big stack from Waterstones, because I'm obsessed with going in there and I can't stop looking at all the pre-books that I really want to buy, then I would have the same problem where I'd have all this stack of books and I wouldn't read them, which is what I used to do a lot of. I'd buy all these books and then I'd never read them. So I'm starting very slowly. A lot of those I actually got from the charity shop, and I will continue to just slowly, once I've got through all of the ones on the floor that I've just shown you, I will actually start buying a few more. But I have to really hold myself back from like buying new purchases. So instead I kind of put my purchases on my good read list, and it makes me feel better. So moving on to number 2. I don't even know what number 2 was now. So moving on to number 2, and we use a lot of streaming services. Streaming services include things like TV services, film services, music services, learning services, things like that. We actually invest a little bit of our money each month into these streaming services, and so far we have Netflix, Prime, Disney. We use Spotify, but we don't have the actual upgraded version, so that is actually free for us. And then we also have Masterclass and Skillshare. So you might think like, wow, that's a lot. Lots of people are trying to kind of come away from TV, get away from Netflix, not watch so much at the moment. We really love our streaming services. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we love movies. We watch movies all the time as a family. I loved movies as a child, and as much as like screen time and how much TV children watch and how much things kids watch nowadays is like a big debate, I still feel like there's magic and art and beauty in films that people create and make and put into the world. So we really do use these services quite a bit. The kids love the Disney Plus app. It's bloody fantastic. Netflix has always been really, really great. It's actually one of my top favourite ones. Prime is always the kind of one that I'm always like, do I really need it anymore? There's not as much stuff on there as Netflix. I find that the originals on Netflix far outweigh the originals on Amazon Prime, but then every so often they come out with really good gems, and they put out some really good old films, like the classic old ones that you love, and they're all of a sudden on Prime and you're like jump for joy. I also watched the whole entire series of The Handmaid's Tale because that was all on there as well. So there are things, unfortunately, that Prime provides which Netflix doesn't. That's obviously the whole point. They compete with each other. I get it. And that is why we have both of them. Also, Prime obviously offers Prime delivery, so that we can get free delivery whenever we use Amazon. And as much as people don't like Amazon and they would rather support small businesses, there are actually small businesses on Amazon, and they are using electrical vehicles. They're also working really hard to eliminate plastic in their packaging as well. So our entertainment apps really do help us out, and whilst we're here in a space that's not our own, it's nice to have something to kind of go towards and something to settle down with. And because we're with the kids 24/7, we can kind of put a film on, or put something on that they really enjoy, or put something on that we really enjoy as a family, and kind of relax and settle down to it. Skillshare and Masterclass are great learning apps. Me and Kev use them all the time. We really, really adore learning from masters, learning from people. So Masterclass was a really big birthday or Christmas treat for Kev a couple of years ago, and we've really, really enjoyed some of the classes on there. I've taken Neil Gaiman's one on writing, and I also watched Ron Finley's gardening one. So there's some really, really great sources of knowledge that we just absolutely thrive on. So the third thing that I love to indulge in, and I buy a lot of, is skincare. So in the list of 70 things that I do not own or buy, I did mention that I do not buy any surplus amounts of makeup anymore. I was a massive makeup hoarder. I wanted to do makeup on YouTube. I wanted to do makeup on Instagram. I had an account for it. I played around with makeup all the time. I watched makeup on YouTube all the time. It was like makeup. So that part of my life is kind of over. However, what I do invest in is skincare. Skincare is one of those things where you could either spend a lot of money or a little bit of money, but very often. And I choose to spend a little bit of money, but very often. I hope one day that I can afford some of the nicer products to keep my face looking snatched. But at the moment, I buy what I can on my budget. So I do invest in skincare because I believe that it is more important to invest in my well-being and my health and the health of my skin over covering it up with lots and lots of makeup. So one of my tried and tested brands, and obviously a lot of people do use these, is The Ordinary. I really love The Ordinary. I don't know if they make like an astounding amount of difference. I know obviously that they have ingredients in them and make it really simple for buyers like me to be able to kind of decipher what I need and what I don't. I also love the price point. Obviously that's why I buy them, because it's like a little bottle of this is like between £5 and £10. So it's really easy and accessible, especially when you don't have a lot of money. I don't know if the skincare ingredients in these little bottles is as refined and as complex as some of the obviously more expensive brands. I can imagine it probably isn't. However, I kind of feel like if I use things that prevent any more kind of skin damage or skin aging, etc, etc, then at least I will kind of prevent it rather than spend a lot of money trying to kind of reverse it. I've also tried the Boots range of skincare, which I believe is Boots ingredients. I think it's almost a dupe for like the Ordinary look and the Inky List. Very plain packaging, very simple. This is an AHA serum, it's really, really good. I do have a lot of the Inky List products as well. I have their moisturiser, I've tried their hyaluronic acid and their niacinamide. Again, really, really great products, and again, a very accessible price point. I also try and use skincare that is not tested on animals, so I use Revolution skincare as well. They are mostly vegan, so a lot of these products are really, really great too. Mummy's just filming. What, buddy?
Where's my bottle?
It's not up here, buddy. I think it's downstairs. Bye. And then I also really, really love K Beauty and J Beauty. These are really, really good ones. This is a hyaluronic acid and this is a Purito recovery cream. Really, really good. Love, love, love Korean beauty completely. And then my last little gem is something that actually is super, super cheap. It is the Superdrug Soleil face sunscreen, because obviously sunscreen is extremely important to put on your face every day. I use the 50+ one, and this is like £1.99 to £2.50-ish. Really, really good. I've got like 5 bottles of this because I use it all the time. I use it every single day because you should, and it saves me from buying really overpriced, expensive sun creams as well. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of skincare, and it isn't something I'm overly proud of. I try and minimize my routine as much as I can. I don't want to run into that trap of buying every single product from every single brand just to try it. I would rather just gently look after my skin as best as I can with my budget, but keep it to a minimal. So that is extremely important to me. As you can see, I actually don't have any foundation at all. You can see like spots. I have really big pores. I have texture. But I really do try and look after it as best as I can for the future. So number 4 on my list of things that I indulge in is earrings. I said in my last one that I hate bracelets. I really don't own any necklaces. I think I own one, but it's broken at the moment, so it needs fixing. I don't wear any rings other than my wedding ring, which is off sometimes because it is very delicate. And the only piece of jewellery I can stand, that I love, that makes sense for me, that I can be expressive in, is earrings. So as you can see, I'm wearing these lovely dangly ones. I think these were from Lisa Angel, which is a really lovely shop here in Norwich. And they're like a lino cut resin little face. Beautiful. So I own 7 pairs of earrings in total, which again can be seen as a lot by some, as nothing by others. I completely understand, but for me it's enough to say that I do have a lot of them, and I also do love wearing them. So I've noticed in myself that earrings are my thing. So I'll just show you a couple of my favorites. I have also these lovely little hoops with like little balls on them, and they are also from Lisa Angel. They were in like their sample sale, which is also really cool because obviously there's not many of these around. Another pair of my favorites are these little golden suns. I believe these were from ASOS in the sale at one point, but they are plated, so they won't go all yucky and gross. That is one thing that is really important to me. I will never ever buy earrings that are costume jewellery earrings that are from cheap high street retailers. I always look for gold plated. Otherwise, I honestly don't see the point in wearing them because they really are not going to last very long. And then lastly, my other favourites are these little huggy hoops from Ophelia, and they are so tiny. They were from my anniversary last week, and Kev bought them for me, and I don't know why you can't see them properly, like they're all blurry. It's annoying. If you can see, is it not? They are little turquoise stones in them because turquoise is my birthstone. So he bought me these from Ophelia, I believe, Aurelia, and they are a really lovely company that does huggy hoops and really small dainty earrings, and they are plated, which is brilliant. Oh, I've lost it. Did I lose it? Where did that go? Okay, look for that in a little while. I don't have any huggy hoops from Aurelia now with turquoise in them because I've lost them. The 5th and final thing that we buy a lot of is plants. Now, I know this is such a 2021 thing to say. This is so like Generation Z. It is the in thing, plants, home plants, house plants. are the absolute epiphany of like a bohemian dream house. I know. So I'm going to sound like a bit of a repetitive dick saying that I love buying lots of plants, but I really do. If you know me and you've been watching my channel for a long time, then you know that my aloe vera plant has a high reproductive system and likes to give me babies pretty much every month at least. So I have a lot of repotted aloe veras from just one plant that my sister gave me. My mum gave me a snake plant baby, and I've literally just bought a couple of cactuses as well from a brilliant, beautiful shop called Elm in Norwich that does some really amazing, independent, artisanal plants, pots, zines, stickers, stationery. It's a brilliant shop. I love that shop. But we do fill our house with plants. I do just want one more, which is one that's going to hang from hopefully my wardrobe and drape down, because I don't have anything that kind of hangs. So plants is a big one for me in my home. I love seeing the green lushness. I obviously like to plant and garden outside as well, so I do buy a lot of seeds and I buy a lot of potted plants to go outside. I buy a lot of vegetables and fruits and things like that. So I mean plants in general as a whole, I do buy quite a lot of. I do invest a lot, and my kind of sole passion is to garden and be surrounded by plants and live in a forest of dreams and magical fairies. So those are the 5 things I indulge in, I love. They bring me absolute joy. They are something that I collect. I see myself collecting, I see myself buying every so often, not crazy amounts obviously, but I feel like despite being a minimalist and despite having extreme viewpoints on certain things like the last video I made, I also wanted to balance it out and say like, hey, it's really okay to just invest and buy in things you absolutely cherish and love. Nobody is perfect. Nobody does minimalism perfectly. It is completely tailor-made and tailor-suited to your lifestyle and the way that you like to live. So I really wanted to make it very, very clear that despite me not buying quite a bit of stuff that a lot of people do buy and a lot of people enjoy and use on the daily, I myself don't need it. But these are the things that I really do need and that make me feel happy and make me feel like myself. So if there are any things that you enjoy and indulge yourself in, then please let me know below. I'd love to hear your comments and your feelings. I really hope you enjoyed the amount of effort and work I've put into these videos. I really, really try hard. The last video took me an age to edit and upload, and I know it was a few days late, and I'm very, very sorry about that, but the internet out here is, there's little to be desired about it, to be honest. So please like and subscribe and show us some love. We'd love to have you here on board the Wistl family adventure train. Woo, woo. We will be back next Saturday, hopefully, if this video does go out on Saturday, which I'm hoping that it's gonna. Bye guys, see you later. We love you lots. Bye bye. Bow. I'm trying. I found my earring. I found the earring.